Hello! Hi everybody! Just showing off my Christmas mask. Oh! Not that I need it on inside my house. Happy Christmas! Well, nearly there. So just wait for a few people to join. Hello! Just showing off my friend at work. She made us all Christmas masks, and as you can see, this mask has lots of candy canes on it and holly, so it's perfect for Christmas. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone is good. Thank you for joining. So I haven't done an Instagram talk in a while. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Tasha. I live in Abingdon, which is just south of Oxford, and I have a fiance and two cats. One cat, which you can see right there, that's Giles in his little cat bed. Hello, Giles. And yes, so I'm going to do a talk today about Christmas in the UK, and if you have any questions whilst I'm talking, please just ask, or if you want to join in or say anything, then go for it, go ahead, type, join in, and it's really nice to do this again. Christmas in England is obviously slightly different this year with COVID. So let me just tell you what's happening there. So, hello. So for Christmas this year, we have been told that we can all go home between the 24th and the 27th of December. And we can see two different households. So, for example, for me, I'm going to go home and I'm going to see my parents and my sister, but not my brother because he's not very well, so we're not risking seeing him. And then on the 27th, I can see my fiance's family and see my sister-in-law and his brothers, things like that. So that's quite nice. So it's a fairly normal Christmas, but obviously a lot of people are choosing to stay at home or not see friends and family this year. So it is slightly different. One thing that has been a bit sad for me is that seeing all the Christmas markets have not been on. So normally Oxford at Christmas, as you can imagine, it's amazing. It's got lights everywhere. Hello, thanks for joining. There's Christmas lights. You can have things like mulled wine, like hot wine, or hot cider at a market. And obviously they've not been running this year. They've not been happening. So that's a shame. I feel sorry for the people with small businesses. But there's still some celebrations around, and perhaps as I'm talking, you guys can tell me what your plans are for this Christmas and for New Year. So I've got a bit of a Christmas quiz that we're going to do, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some of our Christmas traditions, for which there are many. So let's get started. So I'm going to spin my camera around here. Oh, can you see my other cat there, Wesley, on the floor? So, Christmas! These obviously are British red buses, London buses, and as you can see, normally, and this has happened, there's Christmas lights all over London. We decorate, I'm sure, like in Russia and like in many countries, we decorate the streets with lights and it looks really beautiful. So let's go on to my first Christmas question. So when is Christmas Day? So I'm going to ask these questions and give you guys maybe, I don't know, 10 seconds to have a think about when it is, or if you know the answer, because Christmas Day is celebrated differently, obviously around the world, but in England we celebrate Christmas Day on the 25th of December. So the 24th is called Christmas Eve, the 25th is called Christmas Day, and the 26th is Boxing Day. And Christmas Day, yes, well done, English School Big Ben, 25th of December. So Christmas Day is when we open presents, when we have a big family dinner, play lots of games, and yeah, that's when we do our presents and things and see different family members. My next question. Who brings us lots of presents? I'll give you a clue. It's this guy with the big beard and the red hat. Now, this is multiple choice, so which one do you think? So, is it Father Christmas, Santa Claus, Mr. Frost, Santa Brown, or Santa Snow? And someone saying Santa, you're absolutely right. It's Father Christmas and Santa Claus. So traditionally in England, we would say Father Christmas, and in America, they'd sort of say Santa Claus, but we still say Santa or Santa Claus. So Father Christmas or Santa is coming to give us our presents. And in the UK, normally, in a normal year, you can go to your local mall, like shopping mall, and you can line up and kids can see Father Christmas and they might get a little present, it might be a candy cane or some stickers or something. And that's a really nice thing that kids love to do. Quite often in schools, in primary schools, someone will dress up as Santa or Father Christmas and go into the school. So that's a really nice thing that happens. And hello everybody who's joining, thank you. If you have any questions about Christmas or anything at all, please ask. So my next quiz question, hello, thank you for joining. Santa arrives on does anyone know? I'm going to give you about 10 seconds. Do you know what this is called? So this is Santa and his reindeer, and he arrives on a car, a flying saucer, or a sleigh. Does anyone listening know the answer? Do we call this a car, a flying saucer, or a sleigh? I'll give you a few seconds. He arrives on a sleigh. Quite an interesting. Yes, well done, English School Big Ben. It's a sleigh, pronounced sleigh. So there he is, flying through the air. Now this is something that I can never do. Can you name all of Santa's reindeer? So before I reveal, I'm going to try and name all of Santa's reindeer, and if you know any, you can help me. So there's Rudolph, I think is the most famous. You might know the song, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose. That's a very famous song that we sing a lot in England. So Rudolph, apparently he was Father Christmas's favourite reindeer. Dasher, yes, well done. So we've got Rudolph, Dasher, Vixen, Dancer, yes. Is it Vixen or Vixen? I think it's Vixen. Prancer, yes, well done. You're doing amazing. And that's 4. There's one that I always forget. Donna? Yes, Vixen and Donna. I think that's it. Did we get them all? Is it Donna? This is one that I always forget about. Okay, I'm going to show you. Ready? Oh, no, there's 8, isn't there? So well done, Donna, Blitzen and Vixen. Blitzen, I always forget about Blitzen. Comet, Rudolph, the main man, the main reindeer. Cupid, Dancer, Prancer and Dasher. Well done. So that's all of Santa's reindeer. Well done. How does Santa get inside people's homes? Does he go in through the front door? Does he go in through the window? Or does he come down the chimney? So again, I'll give you a few seconds to think. How does Santa get into people's homes? I mean, he's got a lot of presents to deliver. So, you know, you've got to think, what's the quickest way? Yes, you're right. It's the chimney. He comes down the chimney. So that's Santa there coming out from, this is called the fireplace. And that's a little cartoon picture of Santa going down the chimney. We used to sing a song when I was younger. Santa got stuck up the chimney and he began to shout, "You girls and boys won't get any toys unless you pull me out." So there's all sorts. I mean, I imagine you guys have lots of Christmas songs. There's so many songs we have about Father Christmas and Santa. So well done. Oh, bless me. So, what do children leave out for Santa? Do they leave out milk, biscuits and carrots? Do they leave out milk, bread and mince pies? By the way, if you guys haven't eaten a mince pie, I'd recommend it. So delicious. Or do they leave out tea, cookies and parsnips? So what do children leave out for Santa? Milk, biscuits and carrots, milk, bread and mince pies, or tea, cookies and parsnips? So have a little think. Give you a few more seconds. You could just say, oh, so you think milk and biscuits? Milk, biscuits and carrots? Let's see if you're right. Da-da-da. Yes, milk, biscuits and carrots. Well done. Yes, so the milk and the biscuits are for Santa to eat and drink, and the carrots are for the reindeer. Obviously, you can have variations of this. So some people leave out mince pies instead of biscuits. Some people might leave out, I don't know, a glass of orange juice instead of milk. So it depends what you've got in your kitchen at the time, but you're absolutely right. And sometimes kids leave a little note. My dad used to love this. It's quite a nice thing to do. So for you, Santa, and for the reindeer, a nice big carrot. Ah, yes, the carrots, very important for the reindeer. Do you know where we hang our Christmas stockings? Is it at the end of the bed, over the fireplace, in front of a mirror? Does anyone know the answer to this one? Where do we hang our Christmas stockings? Give you guys a minute. Get some good prepositions here. At the end of the bed, over the fireplace, or in front of a mirror. Ben saying fireplace. Yes, well done. Absolutely right. We hang our Christmas stockings over the fireplace. These are called stockings, and this is the fireplace. Obviously not every home has a fireplace, so you have to maybe hang them at the end of your bed if you need to. But this is traditionally where we hang our stockings. And we buy presents called stocking fillers. So a stocking filler is just something that you use to fill up your stocking. So for example, my fiance and I, we buy each other one main Christmas present, or one or two main little presents, like a book or clothes for me, or you know, something like that, or a game. And then we buy stocking fillers, and we just put in things like sweets and chocolate and, you know, little trinkets, little bits and bobs. So a stocking filler can be anything really, just sort of small little gifts. And I think traditionally English people, we used to put in tangerines into stockings, but I'm not sure why. So yes, that's where we hang our Christmas stockings. What do people do under the mistletoe? So this is mistletoe. What do people do under the mistletoe? You might have heard this in a song. Do they hug? Do they kiss? Or do they high five? What do you think? What do people do under the mistletoe? This is something that often at a party you might put some mistletoe up somewhere and people might do something underneath it. Any guesses? Give you a couple more seconds. Yes! Well done, you're absolutely right. They kiss. You have a big kiss under the mistletoe. Do you know, I remember being at a party when I was young, about 15 or 16, and there was some mistletoe in the living room, and a guy that I really liked pulled me over and gave me a quick kiss under the mistletoe. It was lovely. So that's a really nice thing that people do, kiss under the mistletoe. Well done. They kiss. Okay, next question. So this is obviously a beautiful Christmas tree, but what decorations, what goes on a Christmas tree? Is it tinsel? Are there lights? An angel? A star? Baubles? Oh, just giving away the answer. Oh, I hope you didn't see that. So what goes on a Christmas tree? Tinsel, lights, an angel, a star, baubles. And actually, because you might have seen it, I'm going to tell you all of the above. All of these things go on a Christmas tree. So come, let me show you my Christmas tree. So in England, it's up to you. Some people have a fake tree. So we have an artificial tree that we use every year. But some people buy a tree. So it's up to you. And let me show you my Christmas tree. Da, 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 da. So on my tree, let me show you. So at the top, you normally have an angel or a star. So we've got an angel that we've had for years. These are called baubles, Christmas baubles. So a nice bauble. In fact, my sister made us our very own decoration. Mary Katniss, she's written. So we've got our own one on the tree. And this is called tinsel. Obviously we've got Christmas lights, so you can use colourful lights or white lights. And quite often, traditionally, in the tree, you would put, we don't have any at the moment, but you'd put chocolate coins for children to find, or little chocolates in the tree for kids to find. Yeah, so that's our Christmas tree. Nice sparkly bauble there. Oh, thank you very much. It's super. I'm glad you approve. We're quite pleased with it. I think it's one of those things that every year we'll build up more and more Christmas decorations. So quite exciting. I do like putting up a Christmas tree. Normally we don't put up a Christmas tree until December. So most people don't actually put up their decorations or their tree until December. Some people are very eager and put it up in November. And then you take it down in January. There is a rule, or maybe at the end of the year, at the end of December. Some people have a rule where they have to take it down by a certain date. I think it has to be down by the 12th of January, or bad luck will come to you, or something like that. I can't quite remember. So yes, Christmas and a Christmas tree, very beautiful. Obviously you can see really big ones in London. And you take down your Christmas tree in May. Wow. That's amazing. So Christmas food, obviously, is it? Yeah, I think you're right. Thank you. It's 12 days after Christmas, isn't it? So 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Yes, thank you very much. It's the 6th of January. That's what it is. So has to be down by then. Normally, to be honest, I would take mine down probably about the 28th. I like to have it down before New Year, so that New Year's Eve feels like another celebration. Can anyone tell me what they're doing for New Year? Obviously we would normally have a party, but yes, that's not going to happen this year. So I think we're just going to have some champagne at midnight. Someone told me about a great Russian tradition where you write a wish on a bit of paper and you burn it and you put it in champagne and then you drink it. So I'm gonna do that this year. I think that sounds really cool. And yes, thank you. So Christmas food. Can you name the food? So love them or hate them. Does anyone know what these are called? And these, it's funny, we only really eat these Christmas Day. I don't think I eat these any other day of the year other than Christmas Day. And they're delicious. I love them. But does anyone know what these green things are called? They're a bit smelly, which is why kids don't like them. Can you name this food? I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. Brussels something. Yes. It's Brussels sprouts. Well done. Brussels sprouts. Very much known. Kids seem to hate them. I've always loved them. So these are Brussels sprouts. Here they look delicious with sort of garlic and salt and pepper and oil. Really yummy way to cook them. When we were kids, we would only have them boiled in water and plain. So, but they taste great with a bit of gravy. So Brussels sprouts, we only ever have them Christmas Day. Okay, let's try this one. What's the name of the bird that we eat? So this is obviously a great big bird that we have. We haven't always had this bird. It used to be that on Christmas Day you'd eat chicken or, I don't want to give it away, but different types of birds. But now we have one bird that we traditionally eat. Obviously, if you're a vegetarian, you might have something like a nut roast, something slightly different. But does anyone know what the name of this bird that we eat? No. So this is a Christmas turkey. So we eat turkey on Christmas Day. Again, it's probably the only time I have turkey all year round, generally just Christmas Day. So yes, that's a turkey. Some people might choose to have chicken, and traditionally people in England used to eat chicken, but now we tend to eat turkey. And for extra points, this isn't a question I put in here, but can anyone see these things? These are little sausages, and they're wrapped in bacon. And we have quite a funny name for these. Does anyone on here listening live now know what we call these? Sausages wrapped in bacon. We've got a sort of phrase for them. So, I wonder if anyone knows this. So these guys, we call them these. Oh my God, they're so delicious. We call them, stuffed rolls. That's a very good guess. And you know what, I'm going to tell you what it is because it's very unlikely, but it's quite a tricky question. But we call these pigs in blankets. So I'll say that again. We call them pigs in blankets because it's a sausage, which is obviously pig meat, and a blanket is something that you wrap around to keep warm. So the bacon is the blanket. So we call them pigs in blankets. And again, we only have them at Christmas because they're very fatty, obviously, a sausage wrapped in bacon, but we call them pigs in blankets, and it's amazing. So pigs in blankets and turkey. What are these yummy things? So here we've got some garlic and some rosemary, but what are these? Oh, delicious, crunchy looking, amazing things. Does anyone know what these are called? Anyone know? Pumpkin. Oh, you know what? It does look a bit like pumpkin, doesn't it? I can see why you say that, but it's not pumpkin. It's, yes, potatoes, roast potatoes. So you roast them in the oven. Yes, roasted potatoes. Well done. Let me show you the best way to get roasted potatoes, because we in England, everyone must agree with me, I'm sure. We like them crispy and crunchy on the outside, but soft and fluffy on the inside. So once a year, we buy goose fat, which is really the best thing for making your potatoes really crunchy, and it's not too expensive, but obviously it's very unhealthy. So once a year, buy some goose fat, cook your potatoes in goose fat, and you will have the best roast potatoes of your life. Oh my goodness, this is making me salivate. My mouth is salivating at the thought of Christmas dinner. It's the best dinner you'll have all year. And the good thing is, if you come to England, you can go have it in a pub. Have a Christmas dinner in the pub. And it is bloody delicious. I completely agree with you. It's so good. So you're absolutely right. Roast potatoes. And obviously people cook them with herbs or just keep them fairly plain. But roast potatoes are a must-have. Oh, these are a must-have because they're so important. Does anyone know what these are? Now these, my sister, she cooks she does the best job with these. She glazes or coats them with honey. So she glazes, like covers them with honey, and again roasts them in the oven. She'll put herbs and things, salt and pepper, and these are really important to have at Christmas. Again, this is something that you could eat all year round. People do eat these, you know, with a normal roast dinner. But does anyone know what these are called? I'll give you again a few more seconds to think. Okay, so these are called parsnips. And this is what they look like when they're not cooked. So parsnips. Oh, celery. No, celery's green. But good guess. And guys, thank you for guessing and joining in. It's great. So please guess. It's good. It's good fun. So parsnips are something that we have at roast dinner. Again, sort of glazed, roasted, quite often with honey. It's delicious. An important sauce. Now, when I was younger, I did not like this sauce at all. But as an adult, it goes beautifully with turkey. So, does anyone know the name of this sauce? You might be able to tell from, you know, sort of, you want it nice and thick and lumpy. And again, only have it at Christmas. never have this sauce any other time of the year, purely for Christmas Day only. Does anyone know what this is? I'll give you a clue. It begins with a C. No, good guess, but not that. No. This is, dun, 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 I'm going to reveal, it's cranberry sauce. So these are all cranberries, and you make like a thick cranberry sauce. You can make it homemade. To be quite honest, our family buys cranberry sauce because it tastes just as good in a jar, in my opinion. But you're right, yes, cranberry sauce, really good with turkey. If you haven't had it, oh, it's really, really delicious. So good, so yummy. And a main essential, this is, you know, to me, maybe the most important thing. Again, we would have this with any roast dinner throughout the year. So this isn't something you just have at Christmas, but it's better at Christmas because you put in like the fat from the turkey you would add to this sauce, so to make it even more delicious than normal. You're very close with broth. It's not quite broth. Broth would be like normally like a clear broth or a stock. So you're kind of right. You're nearly there. It begins with a G. Does anyone know? I'll give you another few seconds. Begins with a G. And we pour it all over. I put gravy on every part of my roast dinner. It's so good. You ready? I'm going to reveal the answer is gravy. So you were very close with broth, Paulina. Very close. This is gravy. So again, we have gravy all year round. Gravy can look like this, or it can look like this. And this is sort of gravy that you just use all year round. You would use a stock cube, and you would just make it with water. This gravy, as you can see, is a bit thicker and creamier because you add the fat from the turkey. And no problem. So that's gravy. Now, do you guys know, this is what we have. This is Christmas. Is it Christmas pudding? Is it Christmas dessert? Or is it Christmas cake? Does anyone know what we would call this? And you can see it's on fire, and I'll talk about that in a moment as well. Any guesses? Christmas pudding, Christmas dessert, or Christmas cake? Paulina's guessing pudding, and you're absolutely right. Well done. It's Christmas pudding. And this pudding has like raisins and currants, things like that in. You can make a Christmas pudding like a month before Christmas. So quite often my grandma will make the Christmas pudding. And what we do is we pour a bit of alcohol, so something like brandy. Brandy's the perfect one to use. So you pour sort of a cup, like the cap of a lid of brandy, and then you set it on fire. It goes whoosh, and then you serve it up with cream or custard, and it is to die for. It's so delicious. So my grandma would normally make the Christmas pudding again like about a month before, and she would stir it once a week, give it a stir, and then add more currants, add more ingredients, stir it, and yeah, it lasts for ages as well. And you only need a really thin slice because it's quite rich, because of the texture of it. It's quite rich. And for me, Christmas pudding with a bit of custard, nothing like at the end of a Christmas dinner. Does anyone know any other, I haven't included pictures of these, but some other desserts that we have traditionally at Christmas? We have something called trifle, and trifle is like fruit and sponge and cream and chocolate on top, and it's just outrageously good, incredibly good, amazingly good, so good. So the next question I have for you is about our Christmas pudding. What is traditionally hidden in a Christmas pudding? So this is a Christmas pudding. What is traditionally hidden in a Christmas pudding? Does anyone know? What do we hide in a pudding? Again, just give you a few seconds to think here. What is traditionally hidden in a Christmas pudding? Any guesses? 10 more seconds. A present? Oh, good guess. Not a present as such, but that's a very good guess. Okay. Ready? I'm going to tell you. It is a coin. Can you see? A coin. Now, traditionally, it would be a silver sixpence, which sort of looked like this. And as you can see, 1959. We do not use sixpences anymore. We don't have sixpences anymore, so you'd have to use a different coin. But you hide a coin in the dessert, and as long as you don't, break your teeth, if you find the coin, it means that you're lucky and that you're going to have a really good year. So again, that's something my grandma has always done. Put a coin in the pudding, carve it, serve it up, and then whoever gets the sixpence or the coin is lucky for the next year. So yeah, quite a nice fun thing to do. So if you find a coin in your pudding, if you're in an English pub, you can have a good year. And does anyone know what is it called? What are these people doing here? Any guesses? What are these people doing here? They're singing. I'll give you a clue. They're singing. But what do we call people who sing at Christmas? Are they singing Christmas songs? Are they singing loudly to annoy their neighbours? Or singing Christmas carols? And well done. Yes, you've got it. You're right. They're caroling. They're singing Christmas carols. So that's something, again, really nice. People aren't doing it because of COVID, but normally you get people knock at your door and they would sing Christmas carols. So like Silent Night, for example, Silent Night. And it's really lovely, lovely, lovely. Even if you're not religious, I'm not religious, it's a really lovely thing. We used to go to church when we were kids, and you'd sing Christmas carols in church. And normally, if you went to London, there'd be people just singing Christmas carols in the streets as you walk by. And yes, that's a good question. Is it usually done in choirs? Yes, that's right. So normally people do it in choirs. So they've practiced it and they harmonise. So that's really lovely. But also sometimes you just get families or kids will go around and knock on the door and sing a carol. I haven't had anyone do it for a few years, but when I was younger, people used to do it quite a lot. Maybe it's just because of where I live now. Not sure. Maybe it's not as popular. But yeah, it's a really nice English thing. Christmas carols, carol singers we call them. So they're singing Christmas carols. We'd call them carolers, yeah, or carol singers. And that is the end of my Christmas quiz. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. So that's what we'd write in a card, and if you send someone a card. So let me show you. Actually, I meant to bring it in. Let me go get show you an example of a Christmas card. So normally you would send cards in the post, and you wouldn't give cards on Christmas Day because you'd already have them. So if I can just spin my camera around here, you can see I've got some Christmas cards already. Oh, that's a good question. If I sing along, would it still be a carol? Yeah, because it's the type of music. So the Christmas carol, for example, singing Silent Night, for example. So yeah. So here you can see I've got some Christmas cards. So let me show you. This one actually arrived today. I'll just take it into my bedroom. So this one is from my mum and dad, actually, and normally send Christmas cards about this time, and it says, "To both of you at Christmas," and then my mum's written on the back, "To Natasha and Tom, wishing you both a very happy Christmas, with love, Mum and Dad." And my mum's written, "Much love." So you just write something, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Isn't that a lovely card? It's so nice. Yeah, so that's good. And for those of you who missed the beginning of my Instagram talk, I can show you my colleague, friend at work, made me a Christmas themed face mask, which I'm very happy about. It's got little candy canes on it and Christmas holly. So that's good. And yeah. Anyone have any questions for me about anything else they want to know about Christmas in England? I mean, I've got some more cool facts and things that I can tell you about. One thing that kids do. Oh, good question. So how long before Christmas do you usually send those? So normally I try and send my Christmas cards around the 7th or 8th of December, so after the first week at the earliest, and probably around this week at the very latest, just because the post obviously gets a bit crazy around Christmas time. So my mum, she obviously sent this probably 3 days ago in second class post, so it arrived today. Yeah, so my mum would never give me a card on Christmas Day. We tend to post cards but do the presents on Christmas Day. Thank you, good question. And yeah, if anyone has anything else. One thing I wanted to show you, which is really nice, is something that a lot of kids do at school. And this started in the 90s actually, which is where people, or children particularly, they make shoe boxes with Christmas presents. So if you buy a pair of shoes, it comes in a box, and what a lot of people do is they fill those boxes up with gifts. It could be useful things, it could be just fun things like toys, and they send them to kids. Oh, hello, thank you for joining. So yes, a lot of kids do this in school, and they send them to disadvantaged areas. So it could be sent to places in England where there's a lot of poverty, or it could be sent, to different countries in Africa for kids who wouldn't normally get any toys or presents. And this has actually become a really nice Christmas tradition that a lot of kids do. And they send, you can see here there's pens and maybe some toys, maybe a cuddly toy. So that's something that I think when I have kids, I would like to make sure that we always do a Christmas box for charity. And is it rude to send a card by email, not a real card? You know what? That is another very interesting question to ask. I don't think it's rude, and it's probably better for the environment to send a card electronically. And I think most people would be very happy with an electronic card. Yeah, so I think people would be happy with that. Probably not my grandma, because she doesn't really use a computer, but everyone else would be fine with it. Yeah. yeah, so I think like my mum, for her, a nice card is almost just as important as a good present. She really likes to give and receive nice cards, so she always sends really nice ones. My friend Sophie, she makes her own cards and sends them every year, but she's just had a baby and I haven't got a card yet, but she's just had a baby, so she might not have the time. Yes, Boxing Day, so the day after Christmas, the 26th, it gets its name from all the money collected in church boxes for the poor. So that's where apparently the word boxing comes from, Boxing Day. To be honest, I think Boxing Day is a bit better than Christmas Day, because Boxing Day, you really relax, you don't have to really see any family, or we don't really, and you eat all the leftover Christmas food. I should mention that after Christmas dinner, we always, in the evening, so you have Christmas dinner about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that's sort of an average time, 3 p.m. And then, so you have breakfast in the morning, you have your Christmas dinner. All families choose when to do their presents. Some people before dinner, some people after. I think that's up to the family. And then after dinner in the evening, when you think, oh, I can never eat again, I've eaten so much, you have cheese and crackers and wine. And most families do things like play board games. My family, we love a board game, so we play board games and we eat loads of cheese. And that's something that we do every Christmas. It's really nice. And I just thought of something that I was going to show you. What was I going to show you? Bubble and squeak. That's it. I was going to show you. So the next day after Christmas, with all your leftover food, because there's always leftovers, we have something and we call it bubble and squeak. And I'm just going to show you a quick picture. So bubble and squeak, oh my God, it is the greatest thing to have on Boxing Day. It's basically all your leftover food. So your parsnips, your cabbage, your carrots, your roast potatoes, not the meat, but any vegetables or anything left over. You fry it in a pan with a bit of oil, and then you want it to go a little bit brown, and then you serve it up for breakfast. And we call this bubble and squeak, and it's amazing. It's just all your leftovers, so nothing goes to waste at Christmas. It's really, really good. I would have bubble and squeak every day if I could. It's the best thing. Someone's made them into little patties there. And any movies you can recommend related to Christmas and New Year's Eve? I mean, Elf with Will Ferrell is really good. Oh, and sorry, my fiance's just heard me because he's the movie man. If you've not seen It's a Wonderful Life, watch it. It is so lovely. It will make you cry. It's very old. It's a classic. It's called It's a Wonderful Life. It's the perfect Christmas movie. Oh, I've only ever seen it once and I don't want to see it again, but a lot of people watch it every year. So there's certain films, isn't there, that people watch every year? Like some people watch Home Alone every year. That's sort of a Christmassy movie. Elf, like I said. It's a Wonderful Life. What else? Is there any other Christmas movies that you can think of?
There's The Snowman, that's quite famous.
Oh yeah, The Snowman. So if you've got kids, I'm going to show you an image so you might recognise this. I used to watch this every year and my sister absolutely hated it. She thought it was really scary and I loved it. And there's a song, we're flying in the air, and that's The Snowman. So if you've got kids, again, that's a really sweet old film. Wow, 1982. Wow. So that's a good one. On Christmas Eve, About Dog. Is that a movie? What's that? on Christmas Eve about dog. What do you mean? And is that a movie that you can recommend? Because let me know if you guys have any recommendations. I always want new stuff. So yes, yeah, Boxing Day tends to be relaxing. Some people see different family members. Do you know, I had Christmas once in New Zealand, and it was summertime, and it was very strange. Father Christmas dressed up in shorts and a t-shirt felt very odd to me, so that was a bit strange. And if you hear English people, we quite often say, oh, I hope it'll be a white Christmas. Is it going to be a white Christmas? And that means, is it going to be a snowy Christmas? And it has, as long as I've been alive, which is a while, I've never, ever had a white Christmas. We've never had snow in England at Christmas in my lifetime. So that's something that people want every year. So yeah. Anyone got any more questions before I finish the talk? Just want to say thank you as well for people joining in and asking questions and getting with the quiz. It's really great. If there's any other questions, I'll just give you a minute to think of anything. Also, I should show you, I keep thinking of food related things. As you probably know, I'm always talking about food. If you haven't had a minced pie, let me show you, because this is another real Christmassy thing that we have. And these mince pies you can eat up until Christmas. Apparently you should have a mince pie every day in the 12 days running up to Christmas. So mince pies are absolutely incredible. Oh, so yummy. So they're really good, and they're quite easy to make as well. But no, thank you very much. Thank you for listening. It was really nice to talk about Christmas. It makes me quite excited. Yes, I know it's going to be a bit of a strange one this year, but it'll be nice. And yeah, normally New Year's Eve, which we celebrate on the 31st of December. So normally New Year's Eve, people would have big parties. London, there'll be fireworks and all sorts of things happening. Obviously this year it'll be a bit quieter. And do you bake gingerbread? I don't. And that's a very good point. Is gingerbread? Yes. You know, a lot of people make, I've never made these, but a lot of people make gingerbread houses. I don't know if it's more of an American thing or if it's just something that my family have never done, but I know people make gingerbread houses like this. So yeah, do you guys make these? They're amazing. I've you know what, I've probably made gingerbread when I was younger, gingerbread men. These little guys, little gingerbread men. But I've never made a gingerbread house. I bet it's quite fun to do. Oh. You wouldn't want to eat it though, would you? It looks too delicious to eat. And then yeah, let's look up gingerbread man. Yeah. Oh, so good. Yeah, I guess that is probably a tradition, a Christmassy thing. These ones are Christmassy. Yeah, so gingerbread men. Often with a couple of Smarties on the middle. I don't know how, but whenever I do an Instagram talk, I always feel like I talk a lot about food. It makes me really hungry after. So that's good. Good job it's evening. So anyway, thank you again, everybody, for listening and joining in. And it's been really enjoyable. I wish everyone a very, very Merry Christmas and a very happy New Year. Peace and love, and take care. Bye.